So you want to know what it's like to drive a Dodge Challenger Hellcat Jailbreak. Guys, in this video, we are going to be experiencing everything we possibly can with this car. First and foremost, guys, this has to be the most beautiful spec I have ever seen on any Hellcat ever. I think the red looks absolutely beautiful. Nice bronze wheels. It might be hard to see through the camera here, but very, very nice wheel color, very suiting for this red. Because this is the Jailbreak, you are able to customize certain things about this car that you wouldn't be able to on a base Hellcat. It has the yellow guard protector still kept on there. Obviously, beautiful SRT badge, two big vents to allow more air into that engine. And because this is the Hellcat, guys, that headlight is opened up for more air to feed in there. This thing can't get enough air, by the way, if you didn't know. Before we go for a drive, let's pop the hood real quick. And this is where the heart of this car is, guys. 6.2 liter supercharged V8 with one of the most infamous, beautiful looking engine blocks I have ever seen in any car. We've driven the TRX, we've driven the Trackhawk, but I've always wanted to spend time with a Charger or Challenger Hellcat because that's where the origins of this engine actually come from. And my gosh, my first time laying eyes on this setup here, I was like, that has to be one of the coolest setups I've ever seen under a hood out of virtually any car I've driven so far. Right when you hop in here, guys, that Hellcat logo pops up. I was messing around with some of the performance settings, and so you have an unlimited amount of options in here. Probably one of the coolest things is inside of the performance pages, and unfortunately it does take a while to load. Okay, that almost took a minute, but you forgive it because of how much is in here. Guys, you can time yourself on literally everything. 0 to 60, you can do 60 feet, 330 feet, quarter mile, eighth mile, braking tests, you name it. Whatever you want to record and time, you can. Jump over to the gauges option. All of these are customizable widgets, by the way. So whatever's important to you, if you're taking this thing on a track, I will say this isn't really a track car, more of a drag strip car. So if you're doing a lot of runs and you want to keep an eye on all the temperatures, you can add and adjust all the widgets in here. Jump over to G-Force and you get a big G-Force meter right there. Guys, I don't know who hit 1.2 G's front, 1.1 in the right. Like, I didn't even know you could corner this car that hard, but apparently somebody did. This is the wide body after all. If you go to the engine option, you now have pound-feet of torque and horsepower that you're producing in a live reading with the boost from the supercharger right in the middle. That has got to be one of the coolest things. And lastly, jump over to the dyno and you just get a recorded 30-second reading of how much power you are using, as well as your recording of your RPMs. Like what? There's no other car that offers such a cool system for recording all of your metrics. And then jump over to drive modes and you can customize everything, from one of the coolest things being the amount of horsepower that you are using. Jump over to custom settings and you can adjust everything: steering, suspension, traction, paddle shifters, whether you want these to be turned on or turned off, your transmission setting, and your power. This is what I have always wanted in a car. A Lamborghini doesn't have that, a McLaren doesn't have that, a Ferrari doesn't have that. The Dodge Challenger Hellcat does. Without further ado, guys, let's put this thing in drive and get moving here. Oh my gosh. First and foremost, right when you roll off the line, you'll notice that you got to be very careful with the gas pedal, because just tapping it, the tires will spin. I'm not even joking. I feel like just pushing the gas pedal about an inch puts about 200 horsepower to the ground. This car, it has that much power. It is that serious. It is that scary. And then also, I mean, it feels, if you're coming from a regular four-door sedan, you feel like you're sitting in a somewhere between an SUV and just a huge muscle car, which is good because that's what this is. It is a 4,400-pound old-school muscle car with modern tech. go here. Let's test the brakes. Ready, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, as expected. Same thing with the brakes as well. A light tap and you're like, oh, this thing can stop. And considering this thing has 200 miles per hour on the speedometer, has 717 horsepower, and weighs as much as it does, thank gosh it does have brakes that can hold their own. All right, now we got a chance to check out this turning radius, which is definitely one of the lower cars on this list for turning radius. But you know what is not on the lower end of this list? This. I really don't even know how to put that into words. It doesn't really matter what speed you floor it from. The best way I can describe the acceleration experience in this thing is it literally feels like you are floating. Like you lose connection with the road when you floor this thing. Because the Dodge Demon is one of the first car, I think actually the first and only car to be able to do a wheelie with its factory setup. We are now behind this GT500. Unfortunately, this thing would destroy me in a race. That might be a separate video. Hellcat versus GT500. Lot to say about that. But yeah, like I said, the Demon is one of the first cars to do a wheelie out of the factory. And so this thing being 717 horsepower, I mean, it's only about like 290-ish horsepower shy of the Demon. And so it's close to doing a wheelie, guys. Like, obviously the Demon, you got to get perfect traction. It's got to be from a dig. But I mean, I really do mean it when I say I feel like I just lift off the road. There's no traction. There's no connection with the road. You are just gripping the steering wheel and pray that this car stays in somewhat of a straight line. And by the way, you know, just cruising in this thing, it can be comfortable enough. It can be dailyable enough. Going over bumps, you really feel every single thing in the road, even the little like reflectors that pop up in the road. If you change lanes, and yep, you can feel every single one of those, which is nice because, you know, it's a sporty car. You do want a sporty suspension. But it's not so rough that you can't daily the car. And on top of that, visibility is also good enough that I feel comfortable kind of just switching lanes, merging around. This is a big, nice, you know, semi-comfortable, I was going to call it an SUV because I keep thinking that in my mind, but just muscle car. All right, we are actually about to hit a little bit of a corner here, so let's see how this thing feels. One more. It feels decent. Like it can do it, but you really don't want to do it in this at all. Like if you're somebody that likes like more of a track focused type of car, you do enjoy the thrill of really pushing a car as hard as it can go in the corners. I really would say don't buy this. You don't want it. This is the most unrefined car I have ever driven, the scariest car I've ever driven, the least grippy car I've ever driven, but yet I still want one. I still love the sensation it gives you. Because, you know, eventually you get used to a car that you own. It's like, oh, you know, I'll floor it, 600 horsepower. That may sound ridiculous to some people, but trust me, no matter what you have, what you drive, you get used to it. You feel like you're gonna crash every time you're on the gas pedal. And so despite having driven cars that feel way faster than this somehow feels like the fastest car I've ever driven in my life. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Now, it is important to cover, you know, this is a 2023 Hellcat Jailbreak, low mileage. So this example, you are looking at around like 70, 75, maybe 80,000. And when you start to get at the $80,000 price tag, guys, are you choosing this over a C7 Corvette Z06, a C8 Corvette Stingray, possibly maybe like a one accident, like medium mileage GT500? That's where it becomes really, really tough. I'd want to drive a Hellcat with like drag radials on it to experience this car with grip. Then if you do that though, the cost of ownership of the Hellcat's just gonna skyrocket. But I like it for the playfulness. I like it for all of the cool adjustable settings and performance metrics. But you know, you do kind of miss the more refined, well-engineered car. That gives you a feeling of a big box with a huge overpowered engine stuffed in it. And so it's unique in its own way, it's fun in its own way. But again, there are, Florida, people down here are crazy. But you know, at times you do just want to feel safe. You do want to be able to launch the thing and kind of know what's going to happen, right? People make jokes all the time about Mustangs crashing. I'm surprised it's not this car, because this is way squirmier and way scarier than any Mustang. If you're somebody that loves to do donuts and go crazy and drift and all that, there's no easier car to do that than the Dodge Challenger Hellcat or Charger. With that being said, guys, appreciate y'all for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Hellcat. Is this your dream car? Would you actually buy this over a GT500 or a C7 Z06? I am going to make a separate video on that, because that's going to be an important, I think an important, maybe even semi-difficult discussion. So I'll see you in that video. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, see you very, very soon. Peace out.